Good evening. The Canadian Armed Forces in Alberta will now be receiving new funding from the government. Defence Minister Peter MacKay was in Cold Lake today and announced $21.5 million in funding to support training for Canada's fighter jet pilots and an infrastructure upgrade at Four-Wing Cold Lake. The minister says this is part of an ongoing effort to modernize bases across the country. Four-Wing Cold Lake is the busiest fighter base in Canada. From New Orleans to the border city, hundreds of people came out to support the Friends of the Performing Arts' 16th annual Mardi Gras celebration last night. Singers, musicians, and more were given the chance to show off their talent at the sold-out Mardi Gras event.
All of the bands here, the dancers, performers, they're all local artists, so it's a great venue for them to perform on a big stage with the great sound and lights and lots of audience members.
FOPA is a non-profit fundraising group composed fully of volunteers, and Cindy Gratton says all funds raised will go to performing arts in the community.
We've donated to music festival, we have post-secondary scholarships, we have a dance scholarship, and then a lot of the elementary, junior high, and high schools. We fund instruments for the band program, music, some kids to go on their band trips, kind of wherever the need is.
FOPA donated over $13,000 from last year's Mardi Gras, and they're expecting to exceed it this year. Music programs at schools like Lloydminster Comprehensive High are just one of the places that benefit from these donations.
Last year, for example, with the money that FOPA donated to the high school program, we were able to buy a whole bunch of guitars and basses and amps to get us going with our garage band program, and so we were really thankful for that.
FOPA has a partnership with LPSD, the Public School Division, where we help facilitate music lessons, private music lessons in the schools during school time. So in that partnership, we're able to fund private lessons for students that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford them.
Jones says he's glad the community cares about the arts and culture in the city.
They represent the support that Lloydminster and the area have for the arts, and to see the outpouring of support that we get through FOPA as a conduit is just tremendous.
Family Day Monday is a great time to spend with loved ones, and the border city wants to encourage that through a number of events it's throwing. The new Disconnect to Connect campaign is meant to pull families away from the couch and spend some time together.
Disconnect to Connect is an initiative of Lloydminster Family Community Support Services in the City of Lloydminster in partnership with other municipalities across Alberta to encourage families and individuals to take some time on Family Day to disconnect from technology and to reconnect with themselves, their friends and families.
Lancaster says there are a lot of benefits to stepping away from the television screen and leading a healthy lifestyle.
There's other values too. They say that teenagers who eat 3 meals a week or 3 dinners a week with their family tend to do better in school. There's all sorts of social, mental, and wellness benefits to spending time away from technology and connecting with your friends, your family, and just yourself.
For a full schedule of events happening Monday, visit the city website. Family Day weekend events continued throughout the region, and that includes the village of Paynton. Bart Padyasek reports that not only did the community get together to have some fun, but to raise money for a local cause as well.
Sleigh rides, ice sculpting, and outdoor grilling. Those are only some of the things the village of Paynton took part in during their Family Fun Days weekend. But celebrating the holiday weekend was only half of it. The community came together to raise money and modernize their local fire department.
Yeah, we're raising money for the department not only with a pancake breakfast, but along with Reliance selling fire extinguishers, and all the proceeds go to buying new equipment for the firefighters.
Reliance was also doing certifications and refilling extinguishers.
It's important to do things like this just for fire safety. If there ever was a need for the extinguisher to be used, you want to be able to use it and not have it fail on you. And just promotion of the community in general.
Deputy Mayor Dewey Taylor says it's important to keep the fire department well maintained.
We have a small fire department, and whenever possible, we try to have fundraisers just to get new equipment, to update our equipment, and fire trucks just to keep everything current so that they can do their job properly.
And when it's all said and done, the weekend events in the village were a great way to connect with the community.
The interacting, meeting new people, having new people come around, meeting people in town that we haven't seen before. That's always enjoyable, just the social aspect of things.
Bart Pediasic, Newcap News.
All right, moving on, the Baker Hughes Bobcats entertained Edmonton MLAC this afternoon at the Civic Center. It was scoreless first, so we'll pick things up in a weird play in the second. The puck goes off a stick, hits the goal light, shattering all the glass all over. How many refs does it take to clean up a bulb? Well, apparently the answer is 3. Sadly, that wasn't a good joke. Shortly after that, play resumes. The Maple Leafs go on the power play. Bobcats pay Joel Webb's shot, redirected there to put MLAC up 1. Later, they score again. Josh Bukowski making the first save, but Brandon Craig grabbing the rebound. The Cats will get on the board, however. Brendan Van Oss, a great chance in front. Bukowski stops him, leading to Connor James corralling the rebound, heading the other way, right to Ryan Symington, throwing the puck on the net. The tricky backhand fools Taylor Shikalak to cut the lead to 1. Bobcats would end up winning this one 3-2, coming back in that third period. Now, the AJHL last night, the Lloydminster Bobcats, the junior A team, snapped a 5-game losing skid. Tanner Dunkel and Austin McDonald had a goal and an assist each, while Devin Green made 25 saves for the shutout for the 4-0 victory. The Cats' next game is tomorrow afternoon against Spruce Grove. In junior B playoff action, the Lloydminster Bandits had a 2-goal lead by the midway point of the third, but 2 quick goals by the Wheaties sent this contest to overtime, and just under 7 minutes into the extra frame, a wacky goal by Shelby Badry as he gets the game winner. 5-4 the final, as you see there. Killam leads the series 2-0. Game 3 goes Tuesday at the Civic Center. And the Lloydminster Universal Heat sweep their series with Fort Saskatchewan with a 5-1 victory in Game 2. Mason Shaw had 2 goals and Cole Johnson had a goal and 2 helpers. The Heat will play the second round of the playoffs at home Thursday night at the Service Center, either against Spruce Grove or Leduc. The battle on the border concluded last night with 100 CrossFit or over 100 CrossFit athletes from Western Canada making their way to Lloydminster for the first annual event. In the main group, the women's RX division, Whitney Darchuk from Saskpro Cross Fitness was right in the mix. On the final day, she proved to be the best, taking home the crown in her first ever competition. Well, Darchuk was thrilled to win the entire tournament.
It feels amazing coming into it. I didn't know what to expect. This is my first ever CrossFit competition, so this is a pretty huge accomplishment for me.
Up next was the men's RX group featuring a toe-to-toe battle between Jason Cain and Brett Shillington. That was Cain just there. In the end, Cain pulled away in the later events to secure the victory.
It was a battle. Brett Shillington's an incredible CrossFitter, and we were head-to-head on every single WOD through the whole weekend, so it was awesome to battle with somebody as good as Brett.
When all was said and done, the organizers were thrilled with the event as a whole.
It was great. You know, we put all the time in beforehand, planning, scheduling, and you know there was no hiccups for our first event. You know, doing something at this size, it went beautifully.
The Lakeland Rustlers basketball teams were in Edmonton for their final games of the regular season, taking on the Concordia Thunder. The women suffered a loss Friday night after giving up an 8-point lead. This time, Concordia took control early and would never relinquish this one. 71-51 the final. Kelsey Sinnett led the Rustlers with 13 points. The men also fell to the Thunder 85-66. 3 players finished with 11 points for the Rustlers. Both teams will make the playoffs. The ladies will get a bye to provincials while the men will have to play next weekend. The ACAC Futsal tournament wrapped up today. The Lakeland Rustlers men were taking on the Medicine Hat Rattlers. The Rustlers fall in the morning game 4-2 to drop to 2-2 in the tourney and 6-3 on the season. Not too bad. They did have an afternoon game. We'll get the highlights later on. Meanwhile, the Rustlers and Rattlers women's teams were in for a tight finish. A scary moment here for the Rustlers keeper, though. She would be all right, and to prove it, she stops this penalty to keep the game scoreless. But the Rattlers don't make any mistake when they get a second opportunity from the spot kick. They take a lead with just 1:40 left in play. Sloppy D by Medicine Hat leads to a penalty kick for the Rustlers this time. The initial attempt hits the post, but the Rustlers do equalize on the scramble. But with 15 seconds left in the game, Rattlers get behind the D and score the game winner. Medicine Hat wins it 2-1. Rustlers drop their first game of the year. Now, we scoured our highlights over the past week to bring you the one that stood out as the play of the week. Now, it was close, but we'll have to go back to Wednesday night. Now, the weather was terrible outside, but at the Civic Center, the Universal Heat turned it up a notch, courtesy of Cale Clegg with the wicked one-timer from the point. This kid is unreal. Let's look at that one. No chance for the goalie. Absolutely, this kid's unreal. How about that nice celly with his teammates? Congrats once again to the Heat as they advance to the second round of the playoffs.